Wow, did you see what happened with Adani stocks today? They went up like crazy after Hindenburg Research shut down. It's kind of a wild story, right?
Yeah, it's pretty significant. I mean, all Adani stocks saw a jump, some even by almost 9%, like Adani Power and Adani Green. It seems Hindenburg closing shop had a really immediate impact on the market.
Exactly. It's like the market was just waiting for that to happen. So, what exactly did Hindenburg do that caused so much trouble for Adani in the first place?
Well, they released reports throughout 2023 that accused the Adani Group of some pretty serious financial wrongdoings. And those accusations actually caused a huge chunk of their market value to just vanish. It was a big deal.
I remember that it was all over the news. So, why close now? Was there some sort of specific catalyst, or was it just time for them to move on?
The founder, Nate Anderson, said it was for personal reasons, like he wants to focus on a more balanced life. He mentioned missing out on the rest of the world and the people he cares about, which is pretty relatable, actually.
That's kind of surprising. You would think it would be something more dramatic, right? Like a legal issue or something?
Yeah, but he was pretty clear there wasn't any specific threat or health issue. It was more of a personal choice, I guess.
So, it was just a conscious decision to wind things up after completing their pipeline of investigations.
Exactly. They finished their projects, including some on Ponzi schemes, and decided it was time. It's like they had a plan and they stuck to it.
Right, that makes sense. So, what does this mean for Adani now? I mean, their stocks have rebounded, but what's the longer view?
Well, the immediate impact is definitely positive for Adani with the stock prices surging. But it's also a reminder of the volatility of the stock market and the power of research firms like Hindenburg to cause real ripples.
Yeah, for sure. It's like a roller coaster. One minute you're up and the next you're way down. Speaking of roller coasters, have you ever thought about how a single report can affect so much?
It's pretty wild. I mean, Hindenburg's reports caused billions in losses for Adani, and now their disbandment is giving the stocks a boost, right? It shows just how sensitive the market is to information and perception.
It's almost like a game of perception. One rumor or bad report, and boom, things shift.
Precisely. I mean, it's like trying to navigate a maze when the walls keep changing. It really highlights the importance of investor confidence.
You're right. So, what's next for Anderson and the Hindenburg team?
Anderson mentioned he's planning to pursue hobbies, travel, and spend time with his fiancée and child. He seems set on low stress investments like index funds and even encourages his former team to start their own research firms.
That's interesting. So, he's moving from high stakes research to a more relaxed lifestyle, I guess?
Yeah, it's like going from being a detective to an explorer. And actually, it's a nice transition to see someone valuing life balance after such a high intensity career.
Absolutely. And it's kind of like a full circle moment. He created a storm with his research, and now he's seeking a more peaceful life after it. By the way, listeners, if you're enjoying this kind of market analysis and conversation, make sure you hit that like button, share this with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.
Right, it's a perfect way to stay updated on financial news. So, focusing on Adani, I mean, they've consistently denied Hindenburg's allegations. So, where do things stand now?
Well, that's a good question. Given the accusations, their vehement denial, and now Hindenburg's closure, it kind of leaves a bit of a question mark over the whole situation.
Yeah, it does. It's like the mystery novel where you don't fully get all the answers, right? But I mean, the market seems to be reacting positively. So, that seems to be what's important for now.
True, but I wonder what this means for the overall market. Because if Hindenburg was right, what does that say about the robustness of the system supposed to detect these kinds of issues?
That's a very valid point, actually. It brings up the idea of how much reliance there is on these kinds of reports and how it really impacts market sentiment.
I know, it's like a domino effect. One thing falls and everything else is affected. It makes you wonder about all the other firms out there.
Exactly. And it's a reminder that these kinds of things happen not just to Adani. Hindenburg had also rattled some other companies before. So it's part of the market cycle in a way.
Right. A cycle of scrutiny, reaction, and then some sort of resolution or shift. And that shift in this case means that Adani stocks are on the rise. So, what does the future look like for these stocks?
Well, Adani Group stocks went up quite a bit, with Adani Power jumping by 9% and Adani Enterprises rising by 7.7%. So the immediate outlook is definitely positive.
So it's almost like the market is cheering, all right, the drama is over, time to go back to business.
Yeah, you could say that. It's like the market was holding its breath, and now that Hindenburg is gone, it's finally exhaling.
And this comes at an interesting time too, right? The political situation with the end of Biden's term and Trump's upcoming inauguration.
Yes, it seems Anderson's decision to close also comes at a politically sensitive moment, but he says his decision was unrelated to any of that. So, who really knows what's going on? When
It makes you think, though, maybe there's more to this story.
Definitely, it could be just a part of a bigger story. It's like a puzzle with missing pieces, right? We may never get the full picture.
I guess that's the reality of a lot of these market situations, a lot of uncertainty. But, well, what do you think about the broader implications here?
Well, it highlights the power of market sentiment and how much it can be swayed by the actions of firms like Hindenburg. It makes you really think about how news cycles and investigations can affect the stock market and investor confidence.
Right, it's like a high stakes chess game where every move can change everything. It makes you realize that the stock market is not just about numbers, it's also about narratives and perceptions.
Exactly. And the narrative here is changing pretty fast, right? With Hindenburg gone, the story takes a new turn. So, what are the key takeaways we should be thinking about from all this?
Well, I think we've seen that market sentiment is very sensitive to research firms' reports, right? And it shows how quickly fortunes can shift.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that the market is a complex system influenced by multiple factors, not just financial data.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder what the next big move will be and how it might shape our world, right?
Yeah, it does. It's like we're watching a live drama unfold and we're just trying to make sense of all the twists and turns.
So true. And it's definitely something we'll continue to keep an eye on. So, for all our listeners, thank you for tuning in and be sure to subscribe for more market insights and discussions.
Absolutely. Until next time, stay informed and stay curious.